Good morning. It is another Wednesday morning here at our little Divorcee Cafe virtual live stream. And today we're going to talk about marriage bios and how I came to learn about them, how I use them, and how it can help you as you start your process going through divorce. So when I first made the decision back in 2010 to get divorced, I kind of had no direction. And I went down to the local bookstore just down the road, the King's English, and I said, "All right, I made the decision and I need some books." And Margaret said, "Here you go, take this book, go home and read it and do it." And the book was, I think, 125 things that your divorce lawyer won't tell you. And I devoured the book in about an hour. And in the book, it talked about writing a marriage bio. And I'm like, well, what the hell is a marriage bio? I already know what happened in my marriage. But once I dove deep into reading about it and understanding the foundation of it, I could see how it could be helpful. And basically, in a nutshell, it's allowing you to take a minute to go back to the beginning. So they want an objective, just like, hey, I met my husband here, and this is how we met, and this is how it began. And then kind of go into the relationship a little bit, to a little bit of background history, and then dive into the marriage, and then how the marriage went, and then some of the issues. And if you can take the time to write down the process of your timeline of when, how your relationship progressed from dating to marriage to wanting to divorce, then it kind of helps you create this objective outline so that when you need to refer to something, you don't have to get emotionally invested in talking about it. You can just be like, here's my marriage bio. If you need anything, this is my history. Because what I learned was that, obviously we are all emotional human beings. And when we start talking about our marriage and the dysfunction in our marriage and why we went to divorce, we get very emotional. And so this kind of takes that element out, and it helps you to kind of vet divorce lawyers easier, faster, and without a lot of financial loss. For example, when my friend started down the road of divorce a few years ago, she wanted me to kind of go with her to talk to different lawyers. And I think we saw 3 in one day, and she had 2-hour chunks with each lawyer to sit and talk to them, and each chunk was like $250, $300, right? So that's what, $7 to $900 in a day just to talk to different divorce lawyers. And then it would take her an hour and a half to talk about the marriage, and then the last half an hour was asking questions about how to handle the divorce. So she just paid $200 to just talk about her marriage and what happened. And then she'd get all emotional. And then she'd be like, "Oh, well, this didn't feel right." And we'd go to a next lawyer, and she would spend the next hour to an hour and a half talking about her marriage and why she wanted to get divorced. And she wasn't productive. So having a marriage bio that's written out ahead of time, that kind of hits all of those bullet points, will help you to vet lawyers, mediators, whoever needs to know about these things. You'd be like, "Hey, so you know what? I have this marriage bio. Can I send this to you ahead of time so you can review it, so that when we meet to vet and talk divorce, and I want to see if you're going to be a good fit for me, then we can start at go time." Say, "All right, you've read my history. Now let's talk about solutions." So now they're going to bill you for the time that they're reading your marriage bio. But wouldn't you rather pay like maybe 10 minutes of a divorce lawyer's time while they're reading the marriage bio than an hour and a half, and not have time to see if they can get on board with your game plan of how you want to move forward in your divorce and life after? The other thing that's helpful, when I was coaching a client, she was trying to vet different mediators for her different thing. And I said, "Well, ask her if you can send your marriage bio ahead of time." She's like, "Well, can you do that?" I go, Well, one, all they can do is say no. And two, I would see it as a help to be able to know what to talk about and what issues need to be addressed before meeting that person as a divorce lawyer or as a mediator. So these marriage bios, they're a little encapsulated, little written out exercise as to how to synthesize your relationship, your marriage, and then where things kind of went wrong. And it also helps save you from being overly emotional when you get in there, because you're already emotional anyway and you're already at your lowest anyway. So why not save yourself that kind of hassle and just write it down? And then that way, if you have all of your dates and you have all of the things that happened in that marriage bio, then if you need to refer back to it, you can refer back to it rather than having to sit there and relive it and go, oh, what was that? And when did this happen? Just take the time. Take the time to write out an outline, how you met, how did your dating go, your, relationship, your marriage, what problems came up, how you tried to solve them, how it didn't work, what you need, and what you're looking for to achieve in your life afterwards. If you write those things down, it will save you time when you have to go into things like therapy sessions or mediator sessions or divorce sessions. It will save you money because then you don't have to pay all of this money to just talk to someone about your history, and it will save you emotional distress. And I think that is one of the key things is you're already in a high emotion zone at the moment, that anything that can alleviate some of that stress is beneficial. Be like, here's my marriage bio. You read it, you let me know if you have any questions. And that way you can kind of take a back seat to that, and then you can be more proactive in your divorce proceedings afterwards. So that's what a marriage bio is. I hope that that helps because it certainly helped me. That was one of the aspects of the book. So the book that I'm referencing is 125 Things Your Divorce Lawyer Won't Tell You. And there's a lot of good information in that book. So I highly recommend either getting it from the library or getting it on Amazon and just kind of going through. Some of the stuff isn't applicable, but there's a lot of things that I hadn't thought of, and it gave me a sense of structure as I was trying to figure out what I needed to do to get ready and prepare for my divorce. So that's about it. It's a little short one today because I just kind of wanted to touch on something that I felt would be helpful. And tomorrow we're going to be talking finances with Joe Davis. He's a certified divorce financial specialist. And he's freaking awesome and knows lots of stuff about finances and divorce. So that's going to be tomorrow at 11:30. So I'll see you then. Goodbye.